Okay, so today I'll be talking on biomedical waste management. So, what it is biomedical waste management? Let's move on to our next slide, which is our contents. First, we're going to talk about the introduction, then comes the biomedical waste management, then comes the categories, the steps for biomedical waste management, and lastly, the reference. So, when we talk about the biomedical waste management introduction, first, from where these biomedical waste management or these waste generated. First thing first, the healthcare waste, all the waste generated by the healthcare facilities, all the waste generated by the medical laboratories or biomedical research facilities, as well as waste from minor or scattered source, they are all under this healthcare waste, which from this it generates the biomedical waste management or the biomedical waste products. So after that, we coming to the classification of these healthcare waste. These healthcare waste categories can be communal and can be biomedical. So when when we talk about biomedical waste here, let's focus on biomedical waste where it has all types of categories, where it has the heavy metal shops, pharmaceutical waste, toxic chemical waste. Then we have the infectious waste. Then we have the anatomical and pathological waste, pressurized containers, radioactive waste, and medical plastics. So these are all the types, or we can say the categories of waste which comes under biomedical waste. So coming to our next slide, which we will talk particularly on biomedical waste. What are these and biomedical waste? These are the waste which are generated during the diagnosis, treatment, or immunization of human beings or any research activities. In general, we can say these are the waste which is generated from a healthcare, uh, from my healthcare programs, from my healthcare centers or hospitals or diagnostic centers, all of those which are infected to humans. These are under the biomedical waste. So when we talk about the categories, the under the management of rules 2016 categories, it is divided into four categories, that is yellow, red, white, and blue category. So now coming to the distribution, when we talk about the distribution of biomedical waste, we have the non-infectious waste, which is 80%. We have the pathological waste, which is 15%. Then we also have the sharp waste, the chemical waste, the radioactive or cytotoxic or heavy metals waste. All these comes under 1%. So as we can see in this figure, there's the non-infectious waste. They are more than the infectious waste. So now coming to our next slide, which talks about the types of waste. So before we have to talk about the distribution, how much the infectious waste are there, how much pathological waste are there, how much the non-infectious waste are there. So here we're going to talk about the types, each types of waste, and what are these waste. So we have infectious waste, which the waste which contaminates with blood or other body fluids. Then we also have pathological waste, which are pathological, which means the human tissues or organs. Okay, the leftover parts where when surgeries is done, all the organs that have been removed, all the uh, all those body parts. So they comes under pathological waste. Now, when we talk about the sharp waste and chemical waste, sharp waste are the includes all those needles, includes all those scalpels, all those lancets, blades, or the sharp waste, or what teasing needles, which includes in this category. So when we then chemical waste, which includes mm, all the reagents, all the disinfectants, which is used in a laboratory for killing all the germs, for sterilizing the all the surfaces. So this comes in the chemical waste. Then when we move on to the next part, which is the pharmaceutical waste. uh, Pharmaceuticals is by the name itself. The pharmacy means the medicines, the unused medicines, the contaminated or the expired medicines, which the drugs or the vaccines which are expired, which are not used um, for for treatment, which have been removed or have been checked in by the experts, where these medicines cannot be used further. So these can be categorized as pharmaceutical waste. And then we have the cytotoxic waste. When we talk about cytotoxic waste, these are the wastes which are generated with the genotoxic properties. When we talk about this toxic waste or cytotoxic waste, are those waste sometimes some research has been done to detect a gene. So to detect a gene or something, where doing PCR, okay, polymerase chain reaction, all those leftover waste which comes out from those types of research comes under the cytotoxic waste. So after that, we have the radioactive waste. Radioactive waste, by the name itself, radioactive, contaminated by radionuclides. Okay, and then we have the non-hazardous waste, means the communal waste, which comes on the paper. These are also present in the hospitals and centers and all, because these are a daily basis use of a person. So when all these waste generated from those healthcare and all those diagnostic centers, they comes in the biomedical waste, but they are non-hazardous waste. So after that, we have the categories of biomedical waste. So as I've talked about the in the previous slides about the categories, where there are yellow, red, white, blue categories, right? So when we coming to the yellow category or yellow bin, we are going to discard all the anatomical waste, all the chemical waste, or the microbiology waste, which is produced uh, in the microbiology lab, or in the soil waste, or the anatomical waste. Then in the red bin, we are going to um, throw all we're going to discard all the and all those instruments, all those equipments, or all those um, things which are used by all those disposable items which are used by the patients, especially the ICU patients, which use the catheters, urine bags. All those things will be uh, discarded in the red bin. And in the white bin, we have the sharp materials or sharp waste. In the blue bin, we used all the broken glass or discarded glass vials, or everything which is broken up in glass, we discard in the blue vial or in the blue bin. Then we have also uh, find out the sources of biomedical waste. So this This is very important thing to know where this biological waste is generated, from which areas and from which part of the um, which part of the area of which part of the organization, we can say, they are generated. Firstly from the hospitals or the hospital waste, then from mortuaries. Mortuaries means like all those, we can say, all those ways which are the in which after that dead bodies have been incinerated or burned up. Okay, then autopsy centers, then from animal research, every always more waste will be generated from that area. And then research centers I've mentioned, as I've mentioned in the previous slide, where there are cytotoxic waste. All these cytotoxic waste will generated from these centers. And also the testing laboratories testing laboratories, the diagnostic labs, all those will be uh, generated waste products like biomedical waste sources. Okay, so now coming to the most important part, that is the present, just 2 years back, which is on COVID-19 case. So for COVID-19 also there is, because this is a very infectious disease. That's why a very appropriate management of waste generated from these areas where where the COVID-19 is infected, it is very important. So for this we have to keep a separate bin, colored bins for these. Okay, so there's segregation waste for COVID-19 waste, that is, we used the yellow bin for or the bags labeled properly as COVID-19 waste, uh, for these waste to be discarded. Then we also um, have all these items which we have to discard in the yellow bin. All these kits, all the vaccination needles, all these things which relates with COVID, we have to discard in a appropriate manner, in the properly labeled bin. Okay, coming to the categories which categorize the management of COVID-19. There is a solid waste, includes all the PPE and the masks and all these things, the infected plastics, all these gloves, all these needle, all these plastic waste generated, and the shops, needles and glasswares. Okay, all these are categorized differently, and they are have been thrown differently in different bins. So coming to the steps, how do we manage the biomedical waste? Before, in the previous slides, I've told you all the categories, all the waste include which involve in a particular category. So now we are going to talk about the steps. What are these steps to manage the biomedical waste? Before I've talked about the biomedical waste, now we're going to talk about the management, how to manage the biomedical waste. So firstly, we're going to um, treat we're going to survey the waste. Then we're going to survey means we're going to see what type of waste. Then we're going to segregation means to put up in a different bins, different ways, different colored bins. Then we have to collect. Then after that we have to store it properly, not more than 48 hours. We have to store properly, not to litter around. Then we have to transport. After transportation, then we have to treat the waste. How do we treat? Okay, so first thing, after we have collect waste, and we have to segregate in what manner. Like in the yellow bin all the anatomical waste, in the red bin all these disposable waste used by the patients, which are can be disposed of, which is not of no use, it's very infectious in the red bin. Then in the white we have all the sharps, and in the blue we have all the broken glasses and all. Then after that, these are the color coding which I have talked about. The segregation in the yellow bag, all the anatomical, soil waste, microbiology waste, all these things will comes under yellow bin. Then red category, all the contaminated infectious waste. Then also we come under the white category, where waste sharps includes metals, all these comes under white bin. And the blue bin, where glasswares, metallic implants, body, all these comes under blue bin. Then how the biomedical waste are collected. The time of collection, there should be a specific proper time. Different hospitals have different timings of how to collect the waste, at what time, if it is full at that moment, or if they used to take it in the morning or in the night or in the evening or in the daytime. Okay, so next we're going to okay, how to pack. When comes to packaging, when we have the bins, we have these bins, it doesn't mean that we have to throw all these things to that particular bin, different bin, then without any proper covering. There should be a proper covering and proper packaging, okay, uh, to reduce the infections of these waste. Then after proper packaging, proper packaging, we also have these ways to um, there will be a different color coding of these ways to pack, like all these colors bin or bags. Then we have to label properly where these are cytotoxic or the hazardous waste. Then we also have to label for for transport. For transportation, we have to label it carefully. All the date of generation, all the categorized waste, all these things you have to label properly. Then after after this labeling has been done, uh, it should be uh, it should be stored properly. After it has stored properly, not more than 48 hours after the storage phase, in plastics or a different colored code bins. Then we have to keep it before the collection came, and to transport it to uh, different areas to treat the these waste. Okay, so after then the transportation came, there will be different cars or these municipals, when we can say, for taking all these waste products, all these hospital waste products, all these biomedical waste products. So how to treat. When it comes to treatment incineration is there, chemical disinfection is there, autoclaving is there, and deep burial is there, microwave eradication is there. So these are the six type of these are the six type of disposable techniques or treatment. Incineration, which completely burn. Chemical disinfection, which leads to um, which we treat with chemicals, and then we will discard it properly. Then we also have autoclaving. In autoclaving, we have to sterilize it properly. After sterilizing it properly, then we can discard it in the appropriate manner. Then also have these pictures autoclaving. Then we also have to after this autoclaving, we also have to burial. Deep burial means like we have to. There are some ways that after incineration also they need to after before incineration they after incineration also they need deep burial. So they uh, have to bury it in a very deep, like 2 meter deep, covered with lime, all those things, filled with soil. After all these chemical treatment has been done, it is safe for all those disposable shops and all. Then after that, after this deep burial, then I think this is the last, or okay, we have microwave eradication also. Radiation produce all those waste produced through radiations. So these are the treatment which we can do where uh, do a biomedical waste management or the biomedical waste products. So that's all about the biomedical waste management. Firstly, we have talked about the biomedical waste, how they are generated, how they are categorized, and how they are segregated. And then after that, we have talked about all those methods or how to treat them in different ways, by burning it, by autoclaving it, by sterilizing it, all those things. So that's all about the biomedical waste management.